Good evening. Thanks for tuning in to KRBC News at 10. I'm Miriam Chamberlain. Well, it's been a busy week at the Olympics. Here's what's coming up tonight on our primetime coverage of the games. Well, Susanna, if you were speaking of car wash, if you're driving by South 14 today, you might have noticed some fun car activities going on. We start our look at the Big 12 tonight. We count down from 10 to 1 to see who Texas Football Magazine says is going to win the Big 12 title in 2021. Doctors' offices and physical therapists are often flooded with people who sustained injuries while tackling home renovations and DIY projects. Last year, the Abilene community gathered in celebration of the U.S.'s new federal holiday, Juneteenth. The season of giving and receiving is happening here at Wiley's Bulldogs Christmas Market. Stay tuned for more. I'll have it all. Staffing shortages like the one for the Abilene ISD and other local school districts are leading to school closures across the state. Thomas says he would never do anything to hurt his grandmother.
I would never do something like that. Not intentionally, not purposely.
We reached out to APD for another statement, but due to the ongoing investigation, they were not able to comment any further. You guys pull in from the front, you will see these cones lined here, and you will see Victor here with his Christmas spirit. The couple has been in close contact with Abilene's Southern Hills Church of Christ, as Elder Bobby Lawson tells me that it was their decision to stay and help. Val and Tatiana say day and night they travel with men, women, and children. I'm here in front of Ambler Bingo in the parking lot where police were seen investigating the shooting that took place out here on the road between two vehicles who were traveling in the same direction. Like you said, David, ramming the back door and also breaking some of the windows. But get this, the suspect was not inside. I spoke with hotels in Sweetwater who say all their rooms are completely booked, and some people even had to bunker in the lobby because of the rows outside. Now, this year's keynote speaker is Dr. James Williams. Now, he's actually here. I'm gonna have him go ahead and step in. Dr. James Williams, how are you doing this morning?
Doing great. How are you?
Good.
Just got the errands changed out. Wha-pow.
This is 9-year-old Ryan Outlaw.
Whoa, black diamond gem.
Excited to have gotten his ears pierced with his father, Cody Outlaw. But upon his first day of school, he was asked to take them out.
Principal caught me before school even started. We had Ryan take them out before there was any drama with any of the teachers or anything.
As the principal told them, due to a district-wide rule, boys are not allowed to wear earrings of any kind in school.
And I told them, just take them out, put them in your backpack, and put them back in after school's over.
Ryan's mother, Ashley Outlaw, says she then curated a petition and took it to Facebook.
Someone explained to me why little girls could safely wear earrings to school, but boys could not. And a lot of people agreed with me.
But soon that petition received backlash, as some others in the community stepped up, creating their own petition to keep Jim Ned School's dress code the same. The petition stating in part, "We do not want to see our school district regress to the level of those which we left in search of greener pastures." Jim Ned CISD gave us a statement when we asked about the situation, stating, "While we do our best to remain aware of concerns expressed on social media, our district does not respond to or solve problems through social media. Instead, we prefer to handle our concerns face to face. We like for that process to begin informally with a conversation in person or by phone." As more than 1,500 signatures signed for change,
I think he deserves the opportunity to wear them.
with over 500 signed to uphold the current dress code.
He actually told me, he cried and he hugged me and he said, "Thank you for standing up for me."
Carver in North Abilene is historically known for being a neighborhood where African Americans were allowed to live, and around the early 70s through mid-80s
had become very crime-ridden and began to be overran with illegal activities, drug activities, and various other things.
And after generations of economic insecurity and racial disparity, Carver residents are standing their ground and stepping up to protect their community and its members.
I do believe that the city council, planning and zoning, along with our nonprofit, we need to sit down at the table, reevaluate the plan, the neighborhood plan, to see what adjustments can be done.
Reverend Andrew Penn started organization Interested Citizens of Abilene North, or ICANN, to develop, maintain, restore, and enhance the Carver neighborhood.
I don't want to see the neighborhood to become eradicated from all the history, because the history is important. The reason we have this here, the history, the black history, because so many years it was never noticed.
With wealthier citizens moving in comes improved housing and light commercial real estate developments, which Reverend Penn says could displace hundreds of families and forget family legacies.
He was a pastor, a civil rights leader, and just an actionist. He was engaged in the process in a way that was really focused on learning what his role was and how he could be helpful to the spaces around him that mattered.
Damian Oliphant is the grandson of the late Reverend T.G. Oliphant, says he spent every summer visiting his grandparents' home.
I always credit my dad with making sure that we had those experiences of being down here. It led to a very balanced upbringing of just understanding that there's more to the world than where you live every day.
Ultimately, Oliphant believes the gentrification of the Carver neighborhood is needed.
If our participation in Abilene from here forward can be helping some of those families and people participate versus being run past, I think that would be a great way for us to extend the legacy that my grandfather had.
And new housings also brings the possibility of raised property values.
I don't like the idea of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Property taxes going up, but whatever they go up to, I'm gonna see what I can do to try to get them down.
But regardless of potential raised taxes, long-term Carver resident says he's happy to see the neighborhood get back on its feet.
So I'm glad for the neighborhood, glad to pick the neighborhood up, and different race of peoples, it's fine with me, as long as they're not prejudiced, because I'm not the prejudiced type, because I've experienced prejudice in the 70s.
As Abilene City Council has approved on new zoning changes to take place.
That they put in has enhanced, has not deteriorated, and if we see those type of things come, then that's pretty much in my favor.
Reverend Penn's believing that the need for gentrification in the Carver neighborhood may just allow them to continue to grow with the community.
The verdict was justice.
A guilty verdict for former officer Derek Chauvin.
I can't erase from my mind hearing the cries, the pleas from folks that were bystanders.
One that the Abilene Chief of Police believes is justified.
And the look that appeared to be on the officer's face as he refused to take any action, any efforts to try to make sure that Mr. Floyd was doing okay.
Chief Marcus Dudley Jr. is looking to make a few changes within the department.
We do have a code of conduct that they're expected to adhere to, or there will be consequences.
And says it's critical now for his officers to be thinking about ways to lessen the load and burden for their fellow officers.
Hey, if you catch the bad person, then it's your job to write your report and clean up the mess. Those days are gone.
Dudley is planning to implement a duty to intervene policy.
It's making sure that our officers know that they are expected to treat people with respect.
As he wants residents to feel safe.
If they feel in any way that their rights are being violated, that they're not being treated fairly, that they do have recourse.
But the time for the recourse maybe isn't during the stop itself.
It's after that circumstance when they should be able to get with their parent if they're a child or if they're an adult on their own. Go into the police department or contact a supervisor and make the essential report.
While this is only one policy, Dudley says many more changes are to come.